Dear friends, good evening. I would like to share something about Father Jonathan Shant. Um, 2 weeks ago, one of our young people here in Klexdorp called me and said, "Don't forget about the 23rd of October." And I said, what's happening on the 23rd?" He said, "No, just think. The 23rd is an important day." I said, "What is it all about?" She said, "It's Father Shant's birthday." I said, "Oh, I think I had forgotten. Thank you for reminding me." And she said, "Please celebrate Mass for him." I said, "No, definitely I will." And on the 23rd, during the course of the day, one young person from Pretoria, he's a young adult now, was one of our youths when I was still in the cathedral, called me and said, "I am at the cemetery. I visited Father Shant and I said a short prayer for him." And I was so delighted to hear these young people who were touched by his life and ministry. And it has not been easy for me to talk about him because his death was really devastating. And I had to take all this time, to recollect myself and say something about him. I remember that at his Requiem Mass, the Archbishop Emeritus of Pretoria, Archbishop Slattery, requested me to preach and offered to do the Mass. And I said, "No, it's better that I do the Mass and then you preach," because I felt that I was not ready. And I said, "Look, if there is a chance at the end of the Mass, I will say something." But due to time, considerations, I had to leave that. But I would like to share with you my story, which started in 2007 when I was asked to go to the cathedral. I met Father Shant there. I knew him, but at a distance. When I came, he had just celebrated his 80th birthday and had also traveled to Australia and New Zealand to celebrate with his family. He came back full of gratitude to the cathedral community who gave him a special birthday. And he described it to me. It was just before I came in. I think I came to the cathedral at the beginning of December or the end of November 2007. And his birthday was in October. And I understand they really made something very big and beautiful for him at the cathedral. And he was grateful also to Archbishop Emeritus George Daniel for allowing him to travel to be with his family to celebrate his 80th birthday. We met at the cathedral. We had to live together and work together and to make life possible for ourselves. It was not always easygoing. It was not always smooth. I think I used to irritate him a lot, but he was a patient man, always forgiving. We tried to share moments of prayer together. We agreed that we would at least do Mass or morning prayer together and then at least have one meal together so that our teamwork at the cathedral can be stronger, with us being able to meet at least once a day, pray together, and also eat together, and where possible, eat the 3 meals of the day together. I feel that he complimented me where I was lacking. He was always ready to work, ready to help, ready to push himself. There are times when we had to try to slow him down, but he was always eager to go. And one day he explained to me why he was so fired up. And he said that not only to me, but to many people in the congregation. He said, I promised God when I was ordained, because he was ordained, he's a late vocation, as we call him. I said, Lord, I'm not going to be able to serve you in the quantity of time, quantity of years, but I will serve you in the quality of years. If I'm not wrong, he was ordained when he was about 57, maybe 55, 56, 57, around there. And so he wanted to give the best of the remaining years of his life to God in a special way. At the time, he celebrated, just before I left the cathedral, I celebrated my silver jubilee. And when I was 25, he was celebrating his 20th. And we had a joint celebration. That was the most beautiful moment of his life and of my life too. And we were just so happy that the cathedral community decided to give us that kind of celebration. And I think there is a video around that which I will cherish for many years to come. But he was always grateful for his birthdays, for his anniversaries, and the parties that went along with those celebrations. He never wanted to miss a party. He loved his family, and he shared his story about his own life in the family. We all know his story that, when his father died and he was already with the Oblates, the Scholasticate in KwaZulu-Natal, he had to leave formation and go home to be with the mother, since he was the firstborn, to be with the mother and to help raise his siblings. And he said that he was always grateful to God that when most of them, almost all of them, got married, he was free to pursue his dream and his vocation, which was to serve God as a priest. This time going to the Servants of Christ the priest in Hammaskral through Father David. He managed to meet Father Blair, who accepted him and allowed him to complete his studies as a member of the Institute and as a member of the Servants of Christ the priest. He was always grateful about that. The fact that he managed to fulfill his greatest desire, which was to serve God. He was proud to show his pictures, his photos, as a swimmer and as a lifesaver, as a dancer, as a bodybuilder. And that used to amuse the youth at the cathedral and also the youth of Klerksdorp, as they could not believe that this holy man danced, swam, and spent time toning his body in the gym. Living with Father Shant was a good experience. He reminded me about the important things in life. He was a good cook. He cooked nice food. But the best dish, Archbishop George Daniel, Archbishop Kumalo, Emeritus Archbishop Kumalo, Archbishop Slattery, we loved his curry, whether it was lamb curry or beef curry, chicken curry, mohodu curry. The mohodu curry, I think, was the best of all. I think if we started a business with him, with that mohodu curry, I think we could be millionaires by now. Many people in the cathedral tasted his food, especially a hot bowl of soup in winter with all types of ingredients and leftovers. He loved beans, and I am one of those people who do not love beans, but living with him, I had to get used to that. He loved onion, he loved garlic, and I don't like them that much, but I got used to them and I began to like them. So he would cook, and I would spend time sometimes taking out what I don't like in his food because it was full of all kinds of ingredients. Very nice, delicious, and done always with love and with a smile. He, like myself, could not remember people's names. I don't know the secret of Archbishop Slattery because he remembers people in an amazing way. But Father Shan forgot people's names in an embarrassing way at times. But he didn't forget everyone. He had his own favorites. He never forgot their names. He had his own crushes. He never forgot their names. But the great majority of people he forgot. And when I expressed my shock to him, he would say, "This is the privilege of being old. You can choose what to remember. You can choose what to forget." Yet, most of the time, he did not like being referred to as an old man. But when it was convenient, he was an old man. At times, to save himself the embarrassment, he would say, "No, Vic, I have selective memory," meaning I choose what to forget and what to remember. And we would all laugh. That house in Pretoria, the presbytery, carries a lot of memories. When I was appointed a bishop, we were coming back from a pilgrimage in Poland and Medjugorje. During my 6 years in that house, we had pilgrimages every year, and he paid for himself. He said, "I know that God has given me so that I can do the things I've always wanted to do." The three joys were going to Durban for his priestly anniversary, going to Durban sometimes for his birthday. And he also loved pilgrimages, and he loved going to New Zealand and Australia to visit his family there. One time he was not well, and I took him to the hospital, and I think he was there for a day or two. But we were supposed to leave for this pilgrimage. We were supposed to go to Poland and Medjugorje. When I went to the hospital, I realized that he was not really fully recovered, but he was much better. And I said to him, "Look, it is better that you remain here, and then you will get refunded, He said, "No, I'm going. My healing is there. My healing is there. My healing is in the pilgrimage." So we went with him. I think we took Air France. When we arrived in Paris, we looked for a clinic just for him to, for them to check up on him. So we got a clinic. And the doctor there said, "Look, I won't even start the process of checking the old man, because if I do and I find that he's not well, this is the end of his trip. He will not proceed with you to Poland." So I said, "No, I can't do that." So we proceeded. We went to Poland. Arriving there, the first day. The second day, I said, "Look, let's go to a pharmacy so that we can get some of your medication." He had already a prescription from South Africa. Arriving at the pharmacy, they said, "No, we can't use a prescription from another country. We need to do our own examination and then give you our own prescription. So they referred us to the hospital, the nearest hospital. Arriving there, I think we were there almost the whole night. And they decided to admit him. By that time, we were supposed to move to another country, I think to Chestogova. And I said, Father, I stayed with him. And once he was admitted, I said, look, I have to go with the group. I was the leader of the pilgrimage. So I said, I'll go. And then on our way back, we will collect you when we go to Medjugorje. And that's how we did what we did. We collected him on our way back to Medjugorje. And there in Medjugorje, we got a clinic and a young doctor who said, look, I think the problem with this, with Father Shant, is that he is taking too many antibiotics, and we need to give him more probiotics. And then she started that, and then all of a sudden Father got well, of course, through prayers, because we were praying for him all the way. He attended Mass, but he was very weak. But with probiotics, he got stronger and happier, and he could enjoy the pilgrimage. From there, we came back to South Africa, and I decided to take him to his hospital, I think it's Unitas, for another checkup. They took him there for 2-3 days. After that, we took him to Lady Selborne, to Holy Cross, for him to recuperate from there. And while he was there, I was appointed a bishop. So for Thanksgiving, the day the announcement was made, we fetched him and celebrated with him that very evening. I'm just sharing this with you to show that this was a man who was tough, he was strong, he was determined, and nothing could stop him. And now, when he came back from Medjugorje and he was feeling much better, I said, you see, I told you that Our Lady is going to heal me. I told you that this pilgrimage is important for me because my healing is there. And that is how we celebrated with him, and he got well, went back to the parish. When I moved to the cathedral, we had a conversation, and I said to him, look, the best thing is for you to make yourself available for the next priest, to help him as you help me. So he was ready and willing to stay. After a while, he said, well, what is the possibility of coming down to Klerksdorp? I said, no, it is possible. You can come, and if you come with me, know that you are going to do less because I don't have a parish. You will be semi-retired, but make yourself available to help wherever you are needed. And he said, I'm ready. I will come with you. So he came here, and I said to him, the reason why I will be happy to have you here is that you can give me a gift of presence and prayer. I said, your presence here is important for you, but prayer and support for this difficult ministry that I have to do. Prayer so that I can be able to serve. And when he came, I was happy. He made friends quickly. Rabuni offered him a flat, which was paradise for him. He needed his space. He needed his privacy. He needed time for prayer and writing. He loved his DSTV. He loved the rosary. He loved his breviary. And sometimes he would come in and say, look, while we are having breakfast, he would say, I fell asleep doing the second decade of the rosary, and I'm feeling bad about it. I said, no, feeling bad. You prayed. And now, I'm definitely sure that Our Lady is happy with the prayer that you made. And you say, but what do I do? I said, no, continue. 5 hours later or 8 hours later, continue, go to the third decade, and he would say the same sometimes with the breviary. If he didn't complete it, we would laugh and laugh and laugh, because then I would always try to make him comfortable, and I didn't want him to feel guilty for not having completed his prayers, because at the time he was already in his 90s, but he just wanted to be faithful to prayer. He wanted to be faithful to his priesthood, faithful to his vows, and always helpful where he can. And I want to take this time really to thank the people of the cathedral for giving him such a wonderful experience, for making him part of their lives, because they loved him, young and old, and he loved them. He served them to the best of his ability, always available for confessions, always available for prayer, for consultations, for spiritual counseling, for preparing parents, for infant baptism, preparing couples for marriage, and also doing a lot of administration, ensuring that our registers and everything is in order. Oh, that's why I said he complimented me, because that is perhaps one side where I was not that strong. So he was there to back me up. To thank the personal friends that he has. I'm not going to mention them by name, they know themselves, but they were very, very, very dear to him. And he respected them, he loved them, and he allowed them to come into his inner space in a beautiful way. And I want to thank them for that, inviting him for lunch, taking him out, organizing even transport for him to go to the airport or to things like that. I mean, people were just showering him with love and gifts and lots of stories and jokes, because he had a sense of humor. And he also loved singing. So those who were caring for him up to his last day, one of the people who assisted him on his last day when he left this earth was a member of the cathedral community who took him from Lady Selborne when I couldn't get there myself, and took him to the hospital to give him assistance. So I want to thank all those people and his family that he loved. I was happy that one day we could travel to Durban together. I was going for a conference or a retreat. And so I went with him, dropped him at home, and then I collected him after that and met many members of his family, and I realized how much they loved him and how much he loved them. He was always looking forward to go home, to sort out problems, to mediate, where there was a conflict. He was there trying to, with the wisdom, that comes with age, and also because of his prayerfulness, he always wanted peace and unity and respect in the family. So he was a dear brother to me and to many of our priests. The last thing I want to talk about is the fact that he was trying to write the book about his life, and also to narrate some of the testimonies, to share with us some of the testimonies of people who experienced healing through his ministry. We started the book when he came to Flagstaff, I said, you have more time. You can now revise the book, edit the book, and continue so that we can get it printed or published. And I don't know, when he came here, I think he relaxed a little bit too much. And I should have pushed him, to complete, but he didn't. So those who were interested to assist him to finish the book, please come forward. Let us, all his belongings were sent to the Superior General of the Servants of Christ the Priest in Attridgeville, Father Matuani, SCP. So I think that we can trace the manuscripts there and maybe go through them and see what we can publish, and perhaps what we think is not worthy, is not worth publishing. We can do that. Let's try to do that in his memory, because that was his wish, that was his desire. He told us, and I know those who tried to help them. I'm not going to mention them by name, but they know themselves. Let them come forward. Let's do something, and we can take it up from there. And I hope that through this we will heal. I was just, I didn't have energy, to say anything about him, because his death was a big blow. And I think it took me a long time to recover. But now I'm happy to talk about him, and I'm happy to share his story. And I know all of us have stories about Father Shant. We will get a chance to celebrate him, and we will get a chance to remember him properly. May God bless you, and we pray that the Lord may continue to grant him eternal rest. And once he enjoys the presence of God, let him intercede for us and for his family. Whatever they are going through right now, may the Lord be with them. God bless you all. Let us keep his memory alive. Thank you. God bless you.